Hello and welcome.
From the dollar store.
That's right. Yeah, we should do that. Okay. So welcome back to the Church and Mark. We have Ashley Ghostkeeper with us today. Thank you for coming in today.
Such a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
That's great. So you're here in Toronto. You're originally from Alberta. I think Calgary you call home. Is that correct?
Calgary is a home base for now, yeah.
Okay. And you're an Alberta girl. You originally grew up there and all that kind of stuff?
I grew up in Red Deer, Alberta.
In Red Deer, Alberta. Okay. And what was that like, growing up in Red Deer?
It is a hockey town. It is, central Alberta. So, my family moved us down from the north.
Okay.
That's where I was born, up in northern Alberta. Growing up in Red Deer, it was, me and my brother, we got to play hockey, and that was kind of the focus. And
okay.
Yeah.
So, do you still play hockey?
I'll play hockey every once in a while now, but my career is over.
Okay, so if the Junos called you to play on their hockey team, you would pass or you would take them up on that?
I would take them up on that, yeah.
I think Adrian Sutherland plays hockey, same with Amanda Rayom, right? I believe they're on the team. And some other fine people, too, as well. So what brings you to Toronto? You're here in Toronto. You did a show this week at Tea and Bannock, I believe it is. Maybe let's start there. What was that about? And maybe tell us more about that evening.
Yeah, for sure. I got to perform at this really lovely Indigenous restaurant called Tea and Bannock. And the owner, Enos, there was so, it was very nice for him to have me there. And I did a intimate acoustic stripped back show. I performed about 5 unreleased originals that will be out on my next album. So It was a really cool show that I don't really do too often. So
okay. And what's it like performing, say, you said you did 5 new songs. What's it like performing new songs that no one's ever heard before versus songs that are tried and, tested and true and people have heard?
It's scary.
It's scary, okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, like... you've never played these songs in front of anyone before, so you don't know what the crowds, if they're going to like it or not. So it's kind of like testing the waters a bit. But I think it went really well.
Okay.
And it's also different from, all those songs have been recorded in a studio. So now doing them in a stripped back way is a lot different, right?
Okay. And do you usually play with a band, or are you more of a solo performer? What's kind of like your live setup?
Yeah, I play with a band. I got my guys back in Calgary there, so I'll do full band shows every now and again. And then I play guitar, so just solo acoustic, or I'll play with my fiddle player. Yeah. Do
you want to give your band a shout out? You want to give them, name them, or I'm not sure what kind of relationship you have with them.
My lady I play that plays fiddle for me, Talila Becky. She's phenomenal. She plays with Cal McCurney right now, and she is a rising musician. So I just want to give her a shout out.
All right.
And then I play with my guitar player Jared Froese. Kirk Dobrowolski is my drummer, and Callie Kinjo is my bass, and John Thiel, my lead guitar, I mostly play with. So great group of guys, and Taylila as well. So
okay, that's awesome. So how long are you going to be in the GTA for? Are you just here for a few days, or do you plan on doing more business meetings or shows? Kind of give us the lay of the land, what your strategy is.
What I'm up to.
That's what you're up to, that's right.
What Ashley's up to.
That's right.
I'm always up to something. So we wanted to come and do that show at Tea and Bannock, and, meeting with some people and whatnot, and a whole lot of networking, and kind of, putting the word out that this album's coming out.
Okay, so let's talk about the new album. When is it coming out?
It's you can expect it in fall.
In the fall, okay.
In the fall, yeah. And we're going to start releasing the singles close to summer.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
Any lead on what the first single is going to be, or can you tell us that yet? Or
I could tell you the first single is called Us Sounds Good to Me. And Us is like... It's it's got like the marks behind it. So it's like, it looks like a 90s formatted song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you come up with that song? What was the inspiration behind that?
Yeah, it was just about love, obviously, and relationship, and just not pushing it away, just letting it happen, and just saying yes to it. You know, when good things come your way, just, you know, say yes to it. And,
right.
And there's one line in the song that says, what the world brings my way. So I feel like the song you could just relate to not just relationships, but just any good thing that comes your way. Just, you know, allow it, receive it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the attitude you carry through life, kind of going with the flow, kind of letting the universe unveil its mysteries.
Yeah,
Okay.
For sure. I'm definitely trying to be that way more and more each day.
More living in the moment.
Living in the moment, yes.
Right. But I think it's tough as a musician because you're always kind of planning for the future, like planning for the future release, and then you're planning for, say, doing a tour, and you're planning all these things in the future, which may or may not happen, of course.
Exactly.
Do you find yourself looking more to the future, or are you trying to live in the present?
I think there's a mix of both. I'm also very open to, I think the best things are unexpected, you know, those unexpected blessings that come your way. So I'm kind of a mix of both. I mean, my first EP I put out is actually called Future Me. So, and that's about, I think the choices you make in the day-to-day is what determines your future. So,
right.
Those consistent habits and whatnot, what I'm doing today is going to affect my future self. So that's really my anthem that has been with me in the last couple of years. So that's how I'm trying to live.
Okay. And I was reading somewhere on a website that you started music at an early age. I think it mentioned at age 8. And what kind of got you into it?
I definitely come from a very musical family. I wouldn't say I started music at that age. It was more so something behind the scenes. But I started singing, I think, since I could talk. And being around my musical family, always hearing them sing and play guitar, and always having the country radio on, I had a love for it right away. Like I think country music was my first love.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who are some of your favorite artists that you grew up with that you still admire maybe today?
Yeah, for sure. I'd say my first would be my Auntie Dawn. She was a country gospel singer, and her duet partner recorded 5 studio albums. So I remember seeing her, like we would have her cassettes, and I would look at them, and I thought she was a total star. I'm like, oh my goodness, my auntie's like amazing. And so she was my first like inspiration. And then I loved like Toby Keith, Tim McGraw, Miranda Lambert. That was, I guess, later on. Faith Hill was a big one. George Strait.
Okay.
Merle Haggard.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I really loved like the classics.
Right.
And kind of that 90s, early 2000s. Keith Urban.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. So you first started writing songs at age 8, and then when did you think that you wanted to become a professional recording artist?
Yeah, I think I wanted that from a very young age.
Okay.
Yeah, I would buy karaoke machines. Like my parents got me a karaoke machine, but then there would be garage sales around the neighborhood, and I would go by myself with the money I had, and I bought like two more karaoke machines, and those actually had those old 90s songs on it. So I think that's what really connected me to that. And I just remember being that age, and I was like, I just want to sing and be on stage. So I knew from a really early age that's what I wanted to do.
And since you come from a musical family, I guess they were supportive of your choice to pursue music?
Definitely.
Okay.
I think at first it took convincing for my parents.
Sure.
You know, they wanted me to go to school after.
And become like a doctor or an investment banker or something?
Yeah. They wanted me, they wanted me to be good on my own, right? And music is kind of a gamble sometimes. But I think what it is you get what you put in. And if you put hard work into music, you're going to get that result. And so I think now my parents will tell me to work less and do music more. Okay. So it's cool how that has now flipped.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And your parents they don't work in the music business at all?
No.
Okay.
No, my mom's a nurse.
Okay.
My dad worked on an oil field.
Okay.
But my grandpa, you know, he was a musician, and I got a cousin who's been doing music for about over 15 years in blues rock scenes. So I kind of have it very much surrounded by me.
That's great. Awesome.
Yeah.
So growing up, you're doing music, and when was your like first stage performance? And were you nervous? Did you have stage fright? Did you still get stage fright, or you found a way to work around that?
Yeah, my first performance actually in middle school, we had a program called Glee Club.
Oh yeah,
and
okay.
I remember, I think it was I was in grade 8 or grade 9, and two of my best friends there, we all auditioned, and I think we auditioned as a joke. Like, they weren't serious about it. I think they kind of like didn't, it wasn't like the cool thing to do, like join Glee Club, right?
Okay.
Or even join choir. So I think we all auditioned, and they were like great singers. So like we all made the auditions to the next round, and then they both kind of dropped out of it. They're like, nah, I'm not gonna go into Glee Club. Like,
oh, geez,
you know, that's silly. And then
right.
I was like, oh, I kind of want to be in Glee Club. So I went ahead and I went to that next audition, and I sang, I think it was a Rascal Flatts song, a cappella, and I got into Glee Club, and I think 10 of us were selected, and we spent the next 5 months or so rehearsing for like a recital or like a big concert, and we got to go perform for the entire school at this concert space in Glee Club. I got to like learn harmonies, and a band backed us up, and that was my first time on stage, and I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to perform. And I even remember my coach there for Glee Club, she even told me to not dance as much because I was too into it.
All right, too into it.
I was shaking my hips too much for that age.
Well, that's great. And since then, that's always what you wanted to do, and now you're pursuing that sort of goal. So what have been some of the most, I guess, interesting sort of live shows, say, you've done, and say recently? Anything else that has sort of met that expectation or the thrill of, say, the first time that you were on stage?
Yeah, I would say a couple that come to mind. I got to perform for the Country Music Alberta Awards back in 2024. So that was really incredible, very nerve-wracking, but like in the best way. And then shortly after that, I got to perform the anthems at the Saddle Dome in Calgary for the professional lacrosse game.
Okay, wow.
And they called me up about a week or so before, and they're like, can you do the American anthem too? And I was like, I don't know the words, but I'm going to learn them. I don't even know if it could hit those notes, but I did that. So those were like I felt like jumping off a cliff, that's how scary it was. But the thrill of it after was that accomplishment was so worth it.
Excellent. Now, we first became familiar with your material recently, I guess a couple of months ago at, was it November? More than a couple of months. As time flies.
October, November, yeah.
That's right. And that was at the CBC, and you did that performance at the TD Music Hall, which is a part of the Massey Hall. Maybe tell us about that. How did that come to be? And you guys did some recording, and there were other participants, including Raven Reed and even Logan Stotts.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. The Reverie CBC SoCan Indigenous Music Residency, it was the inaugural year, and I was one of the first, and so they had chose 6 participants across Canada that were of Indigenous background, and I was one of them chosen. And I remember doing the application, and it was one of those, like, I'm going to apply, but I don't think I'll get in, right? Like, there's so much talent across, like, our country. So when I was actually at the CCMAs in Edmonton when I got the email that I got in, and I was in my hotel room, and I tell you, I dropped to the floor. I was like, oh my God, I was so happy. I was in tears. We got to spend a whole month here in downtown Toronto with CBC and SoCan. We got to record 2 songs at the studio there, and mentorship and songwriting, and then at Massey Hall at the Allied.
That's right. Yeah. Allied Music Center.
Music Center.
Or something. That's right.
Yeah, Allied Music Center, but it's in Massey Hall.
It's in Massey Hall. That's right. It's a part of the massive structure.
Yeah. So that was the final performance. We got to perform our original songs we had done, and then you actually got to be on stage with me playing guitar.
That was so much fun.
And we didn't even rehearse. And we didn't just totally... Yeah. And I actually changed one song right before. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's no problem.
That's no problem.
That was amazing. And I remember I was just like, how are you so calm? And you were like, I've done this like 1,000 times.
I've done it, yeah. 10,
I was like,
000
one day I'll get to that point, but I'm like, before every performance, I'm just like so much adrenaline and that excitement, and I'm just like, oh my goodness.
Well, that's good. That's good. I would say keep that that adrenaline and excitement, because that helps, I think, with the show.
Oh, totally.
I mean, I've been doing this now for like 30 years. I played, I don't know, like 20,000 shows.
Wow.
Now when I go on stage, it just feels like I'm walking in my living room.
Yeah, it's
like,
just
I don't even get excited anymore. I should get excited, but I do when they give me the check at the end.
That's also exciting.
So the new record coming out. So maybe let's talk about that. Where did you record?
I actually recorded in Hamilton, Ontario.
Oh, just down the road.
Just down the road at a Catherine North studio. It's like 100-year-old church.
Oh, wow.
Now turned into a studio.
Okay.
My producer, Sean Moore, he's based just outside of Waterloo.
Okay.
So yeah, I flew in last summer. I recorded 6 singles or songs there, and it was a week long, and we're still in the process. Like, you know how it is recording a record. It's there's so many layers to it as it develops. But it was super cool. I really wanted to approach this project in a very intuitive way. Like, we changed a lot of things while we were in the studio, so I wasn't like totally prepared. I wanted to kind of let the flow of things happen.
Like major changes, like to the structures?
Kind
or,
of major.
Oh, okay.
There was one song, it was a ballad. I won't say, I only told you one of the titles so far.
That's right, okay.
So I'm going to keep this one under wraps, but it is a ballad. It is absolutely beautiful, and the structure and the key was just totally changed in the studio, and it was just like magic, and I'm very excited for that song.
Okay.
So yeah, it was. That's kind of how I approached the project. Just kind of, seeing where it goes.
Right. And how long did it take you to come up with the material, like before you started recording?
So we actually had some songwriters pitch songs to me. So there's about 3 of them that I did not write, but I felt very drawn to and connected to. So we selected some songs from some various songwriters across Canada and down in Nashville, and then I got songwriting like with my producer, with a fellow named Doug Volkins, and one of my good friends, Alex Hughes, wrote one of the songs with me too. So I just wanted to tell a different story with this album, and it's totally a different place that I haven't been yet.
Okay, and what's sort of the overall theme of this record, you would say? Yeah,
this album is going to be very like that 90s feel to it. Okay. Even the instrumentation of it, we had all the piano done at Garth Brooks' studio.
Oh, wow.
Down in Nashville.
Nice.
So that happened.
Okay,
and
wow.
I'm like, wow, thanks Sean for making that happen. It's very lighthearted, and I feel like I'm very much stepping into a different chapter in my life of growing into the woman I am. And I think just more mature, and I think that's what that album's really going to represent. Even one song talks about like, bringing a baby into the world, which I'm not a mother. But I felt so connected to share that story and that song.
Right.
And I know it'll connect to like women who are mothers.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's going to be very different.
That's very cool. So when you're looking at other sort of songwriters, when they're pitching songs to you, is there anything that you're looking for specific, or are you just looking for, it's the right vibe for what I'm looking for, or it's the right key I can sing the song in? Is there any specific thing that you're looking for?
Yeah. So when the songs are pitched, I mean, you could always change the key and whatnot adjust, like for your voice. But what I was looking for was just what people are not doing. I'm totally doing like, I'm stepping away from like what that generic mainstream, what the music's looking like right now on the radio. I'm kind of like going into my own lane. I feel just naturally drawn to that. There's one song we picked that was written, I think, in 2013. So no one's picked it up since.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I was like, I love this song.
All right.
Like this, like I felt like I wrote that song, or I just like really connected to it.
Well, sometimes sometimes I'll go back, say I'm working on a record, I'll go through hard drives, I'll pick out a song that I recorded like 15 years ago. Because everything old is new again, and maybe someone hasn't heard that. And especially if you're looking at genres like different eras, like you mentioned the 90s, well, there's a lot of people that are not familiar, say, with that genre. Or a lot of people that, say, grew up with that time period, and to them it's sort of, I guess, nostalgia. Do you find people like fans of yours? I guess they have different reasons for listening to your music. Are there any reasons like that where, oh, you reminded me of an artist I used to listen to back when? Or I find your music so familiar yet unique that it kind of drew me in. Do you get any sort of comments like that?
A couple. I try not to let it like get to my head at all, because I'm my own voice and artist.
Right.
But I've gotten like my tone, maybe like an Amy Winehouse, or even my look or Cher.
Right. Okay.
I've also gotten like Shania Twain, like a mix of that, or Carrie Underwood.
Oh, okay.
And it's funny because like I was a huge fan of Carrie Underwood. Like I sang all of her songs.
Okay.
Like
and
when
you're
I was
not a fan
really
anymore.
No, I'm still
okay. Still
like,
okay.
I love her voice. Like
Right.
and like especially like her first few albums she put out. Yeah. But so I've gotten those kind of names that related to my voice. And
do you have any artists that you listen to as guilty pleasures that you want to tell the world about?
Oh boy, I think I listen to George Strait every day.
Okay, wow.
I can't go a day without my George Strait. And it's so funny. I was recently down in Nashville last year, and I went to the Wax Museum.
Oh, okay.
And anyways, George Strait's wax figure was there,
okay.
and I was in there alone. So like I was like got my phone out, and I'm like taking a picture with the wax figure of George Strait, and this lady comes in, and she's like, "Aren't you too young to be a fan of George Strait?" She's like, "This is like very interesting." I was like, "No."
Everyone's a fan of George Strait, even if you don't know it yet.
Yeah.
So before we were rolling, we were talking about some of the challenges of the music industry, how everything has changed. Especially now we have streaming, and there's very little focus, we'll say, on physical sales. Back in, say, like 2000s, and maybe even as much as maybe before the pandemic, there was still a lot of I guess physical sales through CDs, and now that seems to have been dropped off because people are now on their Spotify and they're streaming. And bands said they've been making up the difference selling merch, T-shirts, hats, anything like that. You're sort of, I guess, newer to the business, so maybe you didn't have those physical sales like we all did back in the day. What other challenges that are you noticing right now as an artist trying to make your mark in the business?
I love challenges. I feel like if I see a challenge, I just want to like go right straight to it. No, I've been having a lot of fun with it, really. I don't have physical like copies of any albums yet.
Right.
That will come soon. What I love to do is, I think, that in-person connection with the fans and listeners.
Right.
I'm not too focused on streaming numbers or any
Right.
numbers like that. Like if I could connect with someone and learn about them too, like learn where they're from and
Right.
make that connection, and I think that's far more important.
Okay. Excellent. And do you see any specific challenges for Indigenous artists? Because we're kind of have this budding sort of industry. We have all these great sort of opportunities and avenues available for Indigenous artists. Are there any specific challenges you see that we may have that, say, other artists that are attempting at mainstream, maybe they don't have those challenges?
Yes, I'd say in 2025, there's still many challenges for Indigenous artists or BIPOC, you know.
Right, yeah.
And you don't want to be fit in a box. We're all human, and we all deserve the same opportunities.
Right.
So yes, there's many challenges that I've seen, and it's it's just how it is right now, and there needs to be change. There needs to be something done.
Right. Because I think a big challenge in the past year or past couple of years now, since CBC did their expose on, of course, Buffy Sainte-Marie, there's been a lot of focus on bringing pretendians out. Because there's quite a few that in the business taking away opportunities, taking away grants, taking away sort of other, let's say financial incentives that were really designed for our people to get a leg up and not for everyone else. I'm not sure what the solution to that problem is, but how do you see that kind of playing out?
I would say there's a lot more fraudulent identity issues going on, and I really try to just focus on me and what I'm doing, and not let that get to me. And it's a thing. It's affecting those artists who are from community, grew up in community. They have, and all that comes with that, and those opportunities are taken away from, someone who shouldn't be taking that opportunity. And so, it's the reality of it. I do think there's got to be more of a verification or more of a process to protect so that doesn't happen.
Right.
People advocating for those who rightfully deserve those opportunities. Even it could, I see it, and when I started to do the music, I think I saw that right away.
Right. So we have a lot of people that watch the podcast. I think Cliff Cardinal has the exact numbers, the data. So what advice do you have? Say there's a young Indigenous musician, say they're on the res, or say they're even living in Toronto or Calgary, and they want to do what you're doing. What's your best advice to them?
Don't be afraid to ask for help. Reach out to someone, send someone a message, and if you could just book a call with them and they could just give you one piece of advice, one thing will lead to another. That's what really happened with me. I wanted to do music. I didn't know how. My cousin had motivated me and said, Ashley, get an Instagram and just post your videos, post your originals, and just start with that. She took me to an open mic. And then eventually my producer found me that way. And then he had really mentored me since. But you have to put yourself out there first. So, get out there, go sing. Don't be afraid to talk with people. And if you can book a phone call with someone in the industry and they could give you just one piece of advice that could lead you to another place, that's how it happens. So, and don't look at the whole staircase, like just look at just the next step or what you're doing right now, because it could be extremely overwhelming.
Right.
So my first year doing music, I was very overwhelmed. I'm like, holy smokes. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing and I don't know what's going on. So I've kind of now accepted the fact, you're not going to know what you're doing for the full picture yet.
Right.
You're not.
Right.
So just enjoy what you're doing right now.
Well, that's great advice. So speaking about enjoying what you're doing right now, you got a record coming out, you have all the stuff on the go. So what's the next year look like for Ashley Ghostkeeper?
Yeah, it's looking, it's all focused on this album, this record. This is my first record. I don't even know what I'm going to call it yet.
Oh, okay.
But lots of exciting stuff happening with that, and just, sharpening my craft, working on my songwriting, and just preparing for this record.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And how often or how many hours a day do you practice or work on your craft?
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I am singing so much every day. I'm, even when I'm not practicing, I am still practicing.
Even if you're singing for fun in the shower, you're still practicing.
Yeah, always working on, my breath, my vocal control, the strength of it, and working on singing in different keys and learning to harmonize, and just breaking down the format of different songs. And I listen to various genres. Like in a day, I love R&B music and hip hop. Like
Okay.
you find me like vibing out to that, and like reggae. I love reggae, electronic music. So I think you could learn, like, music is music. So I listen to it all across the board, and so I'm probably like more than 5 hours a day. I'm like,
Oh, wow.
into my music.
That's dedication.
Yeah, and then business, obviously, every
Right.
day working on the business side of things, and
Right.
yeah.
And would you say that business takes up more time than the creative time?
As of now, yes,
okay.
it is taken up.
Right. As you get more things going, you become more successful. There's more of the business to deal with.
Yes,
I find. Anyways,
yeah, for
that's right.
sure. And I think it's, when you're building your team who can take on more of that business side, then you can focus more on your craft and your performance and all that comes with that. So
That's great. Awesome. So speaking of performance, you're going to perform a song for us.
Yes, I
Do you want
am.
to set it up? Tell us the song and maybe what it's about and what inspired you to write it.
Yeah, for sure. So this song is going to go on the album. It's my most recent song. It's called She's Easy to Love.
Oh, great.
And I wrote it a few years ago. It's so crazy how songs and the process of it, they're written and then like they still gotta like be recorded, and it's just like they evolve, and then once the song evolves, you also evolve, and you're like, well, I'm not really the same person when I wrote that song, so I feel like that's how I feel with this song. But with the process of how I wrote it, I was actually at my first ever Country Music Alberta Awards that's taking place in Red Deer, and I was there with my auntie, and the award show had ended, and so we're leaving the gala area and walking through a crowd of people, and she said a couple words to me, and I just stopped dead in my tracks, and I was like, that's a song. And I got out my phone, my voice notes, I recorded the melody, that it just came to me, right? And I wrote down the first few lines, and then I took that home to Calgary, and I kind of worked on it for the rest of the week, and then still, like, things were still getting worked on with that song. Even a year later, I was in a residency at MacEwan University with TD Music, and I was still evolving the song at that point, like working on a demo there. So it was like, this song was quite the process.
Right, okay. It sounds that way.
Yeah.
And where did you record the song? It's a great track. We'll put the link up, the Spotify link and all the links up after the show.
Yeah.
And how did that song get recorded?
So I originally recorded the first version of this song at OCL Studios, and then I kind of was like, no, I want to go back to the original version of this song. So I actually recorded my vocals for it back at OCL, isolated from the band, and then I got my producer Sean here to bring in the band into his home studio, and we recorded it that way. So,
okay.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of people are doing it that way. DIY, home studios. We're in a home studio here as well. Mm-hmm. And it seems like a lot of the bigger studios have kind of been going out of business because everyone's DIY now.
DIY, for sure. But I mean, that's like the only song I've done it that way. All my other songs have been like recorded live off the floor. Like, we're all in the studio at one time.
That's the best way to record.
Oh, it's the coolest
especially if the
way.
band is tight and they play together well, then that's the only way to record.
It's so fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. Great. So here's Ashley Ghostkeeper.
She's easy to love, but harder to hold. Put your heart on the line, give it diamonds and gold. She'll still walk away with a smile on her face, but she's hiding the truth that she simply won't say. You can sweet talk with her, and words don't mean nothing the truth. Know that the truth shall make you laugh, and you'll make her laugh too. You'll have the most fun with her. She's full of light, but it will fade. It fades every time that she gives herself away. That's why they won't stay. You can sweet talk with her, and words don't mean nothing. She's heard it all. She's easy love and hard to hold. Can't tell her nothing, no, nothing. She's easy to love.
Great. Thanks so much, Ashley. And best wishes on the new release. And how can people find you online?
Oh, thank you so much, Mark, for having me. First of all, I'm so honored to be here today. And you can find all my music on streaming platforms under Ashley Ghostkeeper, and my website, ashleyghostkeepermusic.com.
All right. Thanks so much again. And go check out all those links. Thank you.
Thank you.